Well, first of all, I want to welcome you to Packing Light and Right, and I also want to welcome our streaming audience. We're very excited to have this streaming live, and later, when we get our act together after this festival, we'll have it on YouTube. So very happy to have you here, and I am actually just back from tour. My name is Joan Robinson, and I've been gone about 6 weeks. So this is actually my bags that I pack in. And if you see a little toothpaste and a little dirt or whatever on them, it's because I just used it and I just packed and unpacked, probably 48 hours ago. So what I do in Rick Steves' office is I'm a tour guide. I lead tours to Italy. I also, in the HR department, when I'm not doing that, I do packing lectures, and I also do the voice tags for the PBS series, if you've heard this voice before. Now, speaking of that, yeah, we all have about 5 hats in the office, at least. And speaking of the 5 hats, if you buy something today and you go to the travel center, your cashier may speak 5 languages and be your next tour guide. Be nice to them, because she might be living with them, okay? So I started doing this packing class a long time ago, and I've been with Rick, I'm going over 15 years now, so a long, long time, and this is what I pack for 6 weeks or more. I hear people gasping in the audience here. I know you can do it, and I'm going to tell you how to do it, and ladies, I'm going to tell you how to wear this outfit I have on about 10 different ways, okay? Guys, you might snooze through this part, but I'm going to give y'all some beauty tips and teach you how to pack too. So I was raised in Louisiana. I'm sure you can hear a little bit of an accent. So if I say y'all and fixin' to, and I call you hun, I'm not flirting, but I'm just being Southern. Any Southerners in here? Yes. So you understand how this is. Being a Southerner, I love to tell stories, and all the ones I'm telling today are going to be true, okay? So we've got these great new bags that I'm just thrilled about, and the one I have sitting up here is on your handout. It's the new rolling carry-on. It's perfect, especially on those European flights where they really scrutinize you, and they look at your bag to see how large it is. And I've seen them take people out of line and make them check it recently. They're really scrutinizing bags. But before I get into everything and show you everything inside my bag, I want to tell you about Johnny Cash, okay? And since I was raised in Louisiana, my father was actually a classical musician and a dentist. He was the ultimate Renaissance man. We listen mostly to classical music, but our friends listen to rock and roll and country music, okay? And so a long time ago, years ago, when I was doing packing seminars just with the neighbors and the friends, I thought, you know what? Country music really tells a story. And why don't I take some lyrics, and I listened to Johnny Cash once, and use that in my packing class, and that will be our mantra today. And what he said was, I ain't taking nothing that'll slow down my traveling. Okay, that's our mantra today. So these 2 items, pretty much, along with maybe a hideaway shopping bag, which I'll tell you about, that would have my lecture notes in it, being a tour guide, is all I take for almost 2 months. Okay, I've done that for 3 months at a time too. So I know you want to see what's inside this puppy, right? I will lift everything up and show you, and kind of try to tell you where I got some things, but ladies and gentlemen, I don't know where I got all my clothes. They just are mine. Anybody here that are on my tours? I usually have some people. If I don't see your hand, welcome, welcome, okay? So let's get this puppy down, but there's the iPad bag. Before I open it up, I want to tell you that I lock my bag, okay? This is on your nifty checklist, that if you see something you want today, just check it off. And those of you that are live with us, you can go on the website and find these same items. I'm going to try to tell you what we have in the office. Most of the items I show you is what I love, what I use, what we sell. There are a couple of items we don't have, and I'll let you know which is which. But this is called a TSA lock. And I do love red, but this red lock has a little emblem on it, and you can't really see it from here probably, but it's up in this corner. So what happens if you check your bag in, let's say? You don't know what happens once your bag leaves, that front area, do you? Well, you do know they're probably x-raying it. If you're bringing a wooden box or something metal, they're probably going to open up your luggage and look inside it because the x-ray can't penetrate it. Well, if you had a regular lock and not a TSA lock, they're going to cut that sucker off, okay? And you're going to have a broken lock. But if you have a TSA lock, the TSA has a key where they open it up, look inside, make sure there's nothing dangerous in there, lock it back up. They've saved your lock, and the emblem pops out so you know somebody's been in your bag. Yes, I think it was last week there was a talk about some TSA members. It's rare, really and truly. It doesn't happen very often, but they were doing some things they weren't supposed to be doing inside your bag, taking items, okay? That really doesn't happen that often, but at least you know who's been in your bag, right? And so that's a good thing. So if you want to check in, I always carry on, because all of these are carry-on size. So right here, this bag is our new bag that is called Blue Spruce. It's a beautiful color. Can you see the color from there? How pretty it is? This comes in several different colors. The dimensions are on here. Perfect carry-on size. Don't ever overstuff the front, or it won't be. And the other thing I've done, even when I carry on, if you can see this, I'm going to flap it around. I ID my luggage, okay? So while I'm going along and telling you all these things, I'm not going to be able to answer questions as we go along. But I'm going to try to get through everything and tell you why, and there's a whole staff in the Travel Center also to answer the questions, and everything's on the website, basically, that I'm pointing to. Packing lists, so forth and so on. But and I do remember my first story is when I was conducting a class, I had somebody from SeaTac Security. I was telling people to ID their luggage. And they were listening to me, and while I was telling the audience, now be sure and put your business card in here, or if you're not, if you're retired, put your neighbor's address in here, make sure they're going to be home. If you have teenagers you're leaving, put your neighbor's address. The door will always be unlocked. I grew up with 4 brothers, so seen and heard everything. And so the guy at SeaTac Security interrupted my talk and said, "Joan, I know I'm not supposed to interrupt, but I do want to tell you what we do at SeaTac Security. And that is we go around looking for other people looking at your luggage tag and getting your address, and they, guess what? They know you're not home. I don't want you to get obsessive over this, but just think about aspects like that, security, okay? If someone knows you're not home, sure, they might do that. But so be sure and ID your luggage for 2 reasons. If somehow it gets lost in the transition, or the other reason, because every bag looks alike, doesn't it? And especially if you have a black bag or a dark bag, it all looks alike, and how do you know it's yours? So we have this red luggage tag that I like, and it's a good contrast to the blue spruce. And it has a hidden placket right here. For those of you in the front row, you can see that there's a snap here. No one can see inside my address or anything about me except for airline personnel that need to, okay? So that's how I tag that. Now, should I open this? I think I'll wait just a minute, because I do want to let you know inside this bag is also attached to the luggage a security pouch. It looks like a money belt that I'm going to show you later. If you open it up, it comes with the bag. All our luggage has this. If you open it up, it's going to have 2 mesh bags inside of it, and you can use it for loose items. So it's just a bonus. And it has a little hook on it, so it hooks inside the bag at the bottom, you lay it flat. That's where I put my American coins and dollars in there when I'm going to be using euros. Wow, right now I can't even count because I'm still, my mind's in Italian. So if I spill out a few Italian words, you'll have to forgive me right now. But you can use that little pocket to put a copy of your passport, a copy of your credit cards, copies, because the real McCoy goes in your money belt on your person, and I'll show you how to do that later. One of the things I like to do is to get to the items I need first when I get to my room. Now, I have terrible jet lag, and I have tried every remedy, and I tell you what kind of works for me. Yes, I've tried the melatonin and the midnight and all that stuff. It does nothing. I'm just drugged and awake, so it does nothing for me. But I make sure that I pack on my front pockets of this suitcase the things I want to get to first. So let's say I fly into Venice, and it's from the airport you can take a Vaporetto and go right into the island. Venice really incorporates a lot of islands, but to the main island. I get off. It's a process. You have to go in the water and Vaporetto, it's beautiful. Get to your hotel, wheel your bag up to your hotel, the whole bit. I'm totally jet lagged. I leave my luggage locked, and I walk out and try to get some fresh air. And then I wait till about 7 o'clock when the restaurants are open for the Americans and the Canadians, because the locals eat at 9. Man, in Spain they eat at 10. In Greece, they eat at midnight. It's hopping at midnight in Greece. So it just depends on where you are. And so I'll come back, and the first thing I want to get out, this big pocket, I'll show it to you, is my jammies, okay? I packed in this Ziploc or Gladlock or whatever your brand is, but it has a little plastic zipper on top of it. I packed a full-size pair of pajamas. I'm not going to show you everything in here because got my delicacies in here. 8 pairs of underwear, 2 bras, 2 socks, all in here. And I put it in the outside pocket. Now, I will show you my jammies, pajamas. We call them jammies in Louisiana, just because I want to show you what fits in these little bags. And then I'll tell you a story in just a minute. So green is actually my favorite color, and red is a close second. Full-size pair of pajamas, right? Here's the pants, okay? And this shirt here. I remember that I got this at the Bon, and now it's Macy's, okay? So I don't know if they have the same thing, because everyone always asks me where I got my clothes. So that huge thing, this is not small, fit in this bag, right? So, I've given so many of these classes. One day, someone called me up. It was like 2 days after the class, and they said, I've been looking all over the place for those plastic bags with the metal zipper. And we try to humor people, And I said, plastic zipper. And the reason why I love them is because they really don't break down. Because do you want to be sitting on the edge of your bed, trying to close that thread, and when it's easier to zip. If the zipper gets off track, it's easier to put back. So these last a whole lot longer. Just pay the 50 cents to 75 cents more and get them, because you'll be glad you did. I don't pack everything in baggies, because then the baggies fill up the space, okay? So you got to be selective. So anyway, full-size pair of pajamas reminds me of when I was first tour guiding. And we started out with Belgium bus drivers, okay? I mean, the Belgium men in certain parts of Belgium are 7 feet tall, kind of wide, big men. And I knew that 2 days before my tour, I always go early, that if I tried to get to the hotel where I was going to start the tour 2 days early, I was not going to get a room. You're going to experience that if you're going on one of our tours, okay? Because we fill up the whole hotel. So you just stay down the block. Well, that's what happened to me. So what I did was I had a room, and that morning I got up because that afternoon, I was going to start my tour. So I needed to walk down to the other hotel. And so the bathroom is down the hall. I'm at the furthest end of the hall you could possibly get with the bathroom. And so I'm walking down there with my jammies. The towel is in my room to bring there, and I'm walking down like this. And I get to the middle of the hallway, and all of a sudden, boom, the door opens, and I look up, and there's this 7-foot Belgian. And he goes, "Good morning." And I look down, and he's in red underwear. And then he scoots ahead of me, and he gets in the bathroom. So I back up and go back to my room, and I put my ear to the door, not his door, but my door, to listen to his footsteps to see if he's coming back in. And he does. I go down, I get my shower, so forth and so on. I walk down to, now this happened in Varenna, and that's where we start the Best of Italy tour. And he was outside of the Hotel Oliveto. Laura still runs that hotel. Beautiful hotel. Ferry's right there. He's sitting out there having coffee, fully clothed. And he sees me, and he motions over to me, and he says, "Come here." Yes, ooh. And so I sit down, and we start talking. And I find out he's going to be my driver for the next 21 days. And you know how they say, picture somebody in your underwear? Well, you know. And so that was over 15 years ago, and we're good friends. We're all like brothers and sisters. And so a while back, he found out, of course, that I was going to be giving packing classes. And he said, "You know, us Europeans, we're not modest. We think the body is beautiful, and we walk down in our underwear to the bathroom." Oh, they wear less swimming, you know, Speedos and topless and so forth. And so he said, "Could you bring a message back to the Americans and the Canadians?" He said, "The only people that ever look at us walking down the hall are the Americans and the Canadians. So could you tell them to please not do that?" And I said, "I'll spread the word." But anyway, that's my underwear story. And so if you go down in this pair of pajamas, excuse me, you will be the most fully clothed person down that hallway, okay? So that's what I do, is I grab these as soon as I get back to the room. It fits like nobody's business in the front pocket of this. The pockets have these wide wedges here on the side, you know, so it really folds out. What I did not do with this bag is expand it. This bag's expandable. You know how dirty laundry expands at the end of your trip? Who knows why? But you can still carry it on if this is expandable, because it's just small enough, just not overstuffed, all right? The other thing, you notice I'm wearing a pashmina type scarf, is I'm a big scarf person. Ladies, I'm going to show you how to change your accessories up. And if you say, "I don't wear a scarf because I have too short of a neck," I probably have the shortest one out here. I'll show you how to do that really quick. That's toward the end. But I have several scarves in here. You know how everybody says, "Bring me back a souvenir from Europe." Scarves are really great to bring back. Pashminas are cheap. The only advice I can give you is, let's say you're in Paris and you're around the area of Saint-Chapelle or somewhere. Steve just talked before me, Steve Smith, on France. There's all these kiosks on the side. And if you start at the one right across from it, the pashmina is going to be 25 euros. You keep going down, the price gets less. By the time you're at the end of the block, it's 5 euros, okay? Really great to bring home. Fold it up, put it in another tinier bag like this. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 scarves in here. Ladies, I'm going to tell you how to change this up with your outfit, but later. So that's what I have in the back. Before I show you the main hatch, there's this really secret compartment here that I love in this bag. And to show you what it fits and what a large item can fit in here, you can put maps or anything else. So I'm pulling this out from the side right here. Look, I got a big crushable hat, my Cannon Beach hat in there. Okay, so this fits a heck of a lot in here. And the other thing we did to improve this piece of luggage, I mean, this is just fresh off the press, everyone, is the molding. Look at the molding in the back. So you know how you get all kinds of bumps? And this has memory foam That's why I love it. Memory foam, and it goes right back. Of course, the handle is, you can have short handle for someone like me that's 5'3", or you can have taller handle here. And so it's just a lovely rolling bag. Really like it. Remember, if you do use a rolling bag, you're going to have to lift it up the stairs. I don't ever advise bumping upstairs, especially in someone's hotel. They're not going to appreciate that. Okay, I think it's time to open this. My husband always calls this the magic act. Now, if I open, that's the expander, excuse me. It does expand to about this much. So you won't be able to see what's in here, but I'll lift everything up and let you see. So when I open this up, I've very neatly packed. It looks pretty much like this, okay? And if I take these items aside, what I love, and this is on your checklist, packing cubes on your checklist today. These say this is it. These are my clothes. These are my loose toiletries. I'm going to show you everything in these, okay? That's it. That's what's in the bag, basically, all right? And so what I have on top is this is a full-size toiletry bag on your checklist. Guys, there's a toiletry bag for you that you tend to love, and it's half this size. The women love this size because we have so many things to put on our face to make us look beautiful that we've got to bring it. Now, don't forget, I don't need to go into detail with this. If you do carry on 3-ounce bottles, and man, are they strict about that, okay? So you do have to have 3-ounce bottles. Now, if you check in, the sky's the limit. But you still want to pack light. What if you're catching a train, a ferry? You still got to carry all that stuff. You need to remember, packing light is the way you want to go. So let me kind of tell you about this toiletry bag. It's got a zipper in the back. The half-size one has the same features. It's got mesh panels for anything wet. So I've got a toothbrush, a styptic pencil, a hand shaver. Yes, men, hand shavers. I know there's portable ones. They're pretty bulky, but if you can get by with a hand, that'd be good. I'm going to open it up and show you what's inside. So you can put your own bottles in here. It comes empty. I've put several size bottles in here just to show you what fits. Buy one of these net puffs because a lot of hotels, unless it's 5-star, 4-star, they don't have washcloths, okay? If you're used to using a washcloth, these net puffs are great. You get them everywhere. They dry in a jiffy, really fantastic. This is actually a real mirror. Can you believe it? You know how there are fake mirrors in toiletry kits? I don't really get that, but there's a zipper at the top. I have a shower cap in there. So wonderful bag. And we have that in several different colors. I just showed you hard to leave behind red, okay? And there's a yellow one, caution don't leave me, and a sophisticated black one. So I have names for everything. So be sure and check that out when you're in the travel center. Now, another thing I have that we don't have is a shoe cover. But I have this to remind me to talk about shoes. So you know everybody fits in shoes differently, of course. I say when you need new walking shoes, make it an event and just psych yourself up. You're going to try on 10, 15 different shoes. It's great nowadays because if it's called a walking shoe, that's what it's made for, okay? Ladies, let me warn you about this. Because a shoe is cute doesn't mean it always fits you right. Don't think it's going to stretch. It's going to do this. You know, walking is a very important aspect of sightseeing, correct? You want something that fits on your feet immediately and you can walk out the door. Now, everyone says, Joan, what shoes do you wear? I have everything. I have Clarks, I have Siebels, it runs the gamut. The shoe thing reminds me of another story. I had this guy, when I first started out with Rick, I was in the tour department selling tours, and they put me out in the public area because they couldn't keep me quiet. And so a guy, I guess he was around 30 years old, came up to me and sat down, and he said, I'm thinking about going to Italy. I thought, great, that's my forte. I've been all over the world, but Italy is my forte. I have a Sicilian mother. And he said, yeah, but I want to know, is Italy a third world country? We try not to laugh. We try to educate. Our mission at Rick Steves Europe is to educate. And I assured him no, and he went on the trip, and he came back and he said, "You're right, it's not," and so he confirmed that. And I thought, wouldn't it be great if I brought something back to prove that Italy was not a third world country, just kind of laughingly. And so I did, and it's shoe polish. And you recognize this shape? I don't bring this on tour, but I just thought it was fun. Same shape, Italian writing. They have shoe polish. I want to tell you they have just about everything we have in Europe now, okay? So no worries about that. Any first-timers to Europe here? Yes, okay. So you're going to have fun. Yeah. So I brought that back. The other thing I do bring, being the Southern gal I am, is that after, almost 2 months, I like my shoes kind of spiffy and shiny. So I bring what I call the magic sponge. I get it at Target. The little sponge that shines everything. It's funny, every time I mention this from Target, they're out of them like in a week. But they're cheap and I love them and it keeps me happy and I get to polish my shoes, so to speak. So those are my shoes. How many pairs do I bring? 2, okay? I do tend to buy boots along the way in Italy. And that's for bringing home. That's my souvenir. Wear them on the plane. So guys, y'all got big feet. I mean, compared to women. Wear your clunkiest shoes on the plane and bring the other pair. Now, if you're in really hot weather, you might want to have a pair of sandals and a pair of closed toe for both men and women, all right? So I would say that 2 pairs are going to do you. If one gets wet, you have the other. You pack one, you wear one. Now, another frequently asked question is, I like my white tennis shoes. Can I wear my white tennis shoes? Sure, yeah. Are you going to stand out? Yeah. But they know you're not from that country. But if you can possibly do this, if you want to blend in, they're all wearing dark tennis shoes, black, gray, sometimes with a little orange stripe, just for a hit. But Europeans are wearing dark tennis shoes now. Nikes, everything, basically, we have. Are jeans popular? Yes, they are. But all our European tour guides buy the jeans here in the States because they're really expensive in Europe. But they wear starch, dark wash jeans, okay? Just to let you know. So tennis shoes are okay. You don't need to go out and buy a whole wardrobe, all right? Buy whatever you're comfortable in and maybe buy things along the way if you're going to discard clothes along the way. Okay, I want to show you the toiletry kit part of it here. I'm just going to pile everything up and show you these things. So I have pretty thick hair. I need to bring a hair dryer. And I found this item at Brookstone. I'm sure other places have it too. But it's this hair dryer that blows my hair dry in a jiffy. I never count on the hair dryers that are in the hotel rooms because sometimes they don't put out as much air, they don't work as well. There's problems, all kinds of problems. So I want to show you the head of this because it's so darn cute. Look how little. Look at that. That dries all my hair, okay, and more. I've dried clothes with this too that I've spot washed. All right. So the key behind this is very important to note. If you bring any kind of appliance, it needs to be dual voltage, D-U-A-L, okay? Engineers, forgive me, but I'm going to just explain this very simply. For the most part, we in the United States are on 180 as far as our electricity, okay? In Europe, it's 220 to 250, something like that. So a dual voltage appliance will have a switch. Before you leave your house, you turn that switch to the 200s, okay? Because if you don't do that and you plug it in, it's going to go rip, 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 and probably won't work, okay? Well, the other thing you need is you notice when you plug it in is not going to fit in the wall socket, so you need what's called an adapter. Now some of you are thinking, well, what have I heard about a converter? Yeah, there are a converter that converts the electricity, but you don't need a converter if you have a dual voltage appliance, okay? All you need to do is adapt the end of the plug. I'm going to show you 2 of them we have in our office. They're like $1 each. It's incredible. So stock up on them, buy more than one because you're going to leave one behind. Those sockets really eat your adapters, I'm telling you. But this is how you tell the difference. So let me find them in my bag here. If you were going to, let's say Great Britain, which is a wonderful area, several different countries involved. For the most part, not on the euro. There's an exception or two. The way to tell the difference between their adapter, adapting the end of the plug, is when you think of Great Britain, think of big honking adapter, okay? Look, it's this big. Will your plug fit in here? Absolutely. Fits in here, fits into the wall, you're good to go. If you forget about these adapters, our staff in the travel center will let you know, and for those of you online, they're described beautifully, okay? That's for Great Britain, for the most part. For the rest of Europe, you have this sleek little round prong adapter like this, okay? We have several hanging around our house because you never know when you're going to need one or when I'll be packed off and ready to go or my husband meeting me over there, okay? So you need to adapt. On your checklist, I think this is really great. Travel aid kit, this is on your checklist. This allows you to have all your safety items in one pocket and you don't have to put it together before you go on a trip. And it's very reasonably priced. It also has a little sewing kit in. It will get through customs, no problem, and security when they scan your bag. And so it's got Band-Aids and all the things you need for safety and for yourself. I do carry that. I love that. Let me backtrack to hair because I want to show you the most important item that I just love in my bag. The only caveat is you have to have hair to use it, okay? It's for men and women. All right, I won't point any men out right now. But go to the drugstore and get this little bitty thing of baby powder. Doesn't have to be Johnson's. It could be anything you want. So I use this today. Actually, I use this week. If you're in a hurry and you don't have time to shampoo your hair, okay, where does it usually get oily? Right around your face and the roots. Sprinkle a little bit. Don't go crazy or you'll have a powdered wig, okay? Just sprinkle a little bit, rub it all in, brush the heck out of it. I swear you're going to look like you have washed hair and you're good to go. You can use this for camping. You can use this for going to Europe. You can use the rest of the baby powder for your body. You can use it for your shoes if they stink. I like multiple purposes. And this does the trick, okay? Speaking of stinking, you can wash your clothes in the sink unless there's a sign in English saying, please don't wash clothes in the sink, okay? It's usually in English. When you hang it up to dry, we have these nifty, on your checklist again, this is really great, clothesline. I don't know if you can see this, but it's braided. Okay, so you know when you go inside, especially in Europe, you walk in the closet, and for you first-timers, this will be fun for you to note. You walk into your room, there's an armoire that's your closet, which is kind of cool. You open it up, there's 3 hangers in it, and you need to wash clothes or your delicacies or something, and that's what this is good for. The braid, when you pull it apart, so you don't need a hanger. You just put the item in the braid like this. And so we used to have a clothesline that had suction cups on the end, and you've probably seen some of them. And then we were like, wait a minute, it's humid in that bathroom. Why do we have suction cups? When we moved years ago to the Velcro, it really worked well. On either end is Velcro. I have a really small wrist. It's the smallest thing on me, so I can demonstrate here. I'm putting it around my wrist. So let's say you had some kind of item you were putting it around, and on the other end. Now, I have a friend in the consulting department named Lisa who gets 2 of these and puts them together because the bathrooms are really weird. They're either convent side or they're pillbox size, okay? So you either have a small bathroom or a very large one. So she gets 2 and angles it. And when her things are dry, she takes it up, rolls it up, and she's good to go. And when I get my things off of this braided area, I turn it around and I use it to pump weights. No. It's that type of material, very sturdy. So these are really great to have handy. My husband brings, he told me I could say this, 3 pairs of underwear, and he washes every other day. and has clean underwear all the time, but he brings a couple of these, and he loves these clotheslines. So while I'm talking about my husband, there's this phenomenon that I didn't know about men, that he told me. He brings 2 sets of cubes. He says that men can't tell the difference between clothes that are clean and clothes that smell bad. And so I never thought about it. Because women we don't wash our clothes as often. We don't sweat as heavily as men. And so what he does is when something is dirty, he puts it in a cube. And you saw the 2 cubes that I showed you. He transfers the dirty into an empty cube because they're flat and they pack beautifully. And it keeps the clean clothes so they don't mix and stink each other up, right? I thought that was brilliant. So that's how you can tell what to wash and what not to wash. I want to assure you there's lots of drop-off laundry places all over Europe, okay? Some of them are self-service, and sometimes they say self-service and it's really drop-off. You need to ask. But for the most part, you can do drop-off and it doesn't cost an arm and a leg. Do that instead of going through the hotel. It'll save you a lot of money, okay? So that's it for the clothesline. But I do want to tell you while I'm getting out the clothesline, what if your clothes didn't dry and you're on an AVE train in Spain, a high-speed train, and that sucker leaves on time? What are you going to do with wet clothes? And about midnight when you couldn't sleep or when you got through partying that night, that those clothes weren't going to be dry by the morning. We have a quick dry towel on your checklist. I love this, and it's also one of my favorite colors. It's this beautiful green. It has several different purposes. It can be your beach towel. You can roll clothes up in here, squeeze them out to dry, and they're good to go, or you can keep them rolled up. It's just a chamois material. Really beautiful. Use it at home after the car wash and things are still wet, to rub down the car. Many, many uses for this. You just toss it in the washer, put it in the dryer, and it's good to go. Quick dry towel, love it. Going on, in my little cubicle, this small one here, what I'm pulling out of the hatch, I've got makeup. I've got this little baggie with some interesting items in. One more baggie, so I have about 3 if you're counting. When you're sightseeing and on our tours, you walk 6 to 10 miles a day, and you actually sign a release. I know this is an active tour, and I'll be walking 6 to 10 miles a day. If you're not on our tour, and you're doing it independently, you're going to walk 10 to 12 miles a day because you can't figure out where everything is at one time, right? It's a learning experience. So when you're doing all that walking, what is the most abused part of your body? Feet. Oh my goodness, when your feet hurt, it goes all the way up to the roots of your hair, doesn't it? So what I bring in this little container here is I put Vaseline in it, and I Vaseline my feet. And of course, you can use Vaseline for your cuticles, for if your under your eye is dry, it's got all different types of uses. But I Vaseline my feet. Ladies, if you have backless shoes, don't Vaseline your feet. You'll go whoop right out of them, okay? Which reminds me of another story. Being from the South, I didn't know about this. Someone in my audience came up afterwards, and this was years ago, since I've been in the Northwest now for a while, and said, Joan, do I still use Vaseline if I wear socks with sandals? And I went, socks with sandals? Because in the South it's so hot and humid, you never would wear socks with sandals. But the answer is yes, because it's totally covered. Now, if you do wear sandals that have a back to it and you Vaseline your feet, you're going to pick up a few souvenirs, mainly dirt, of the Roman Forum or anything else you go through. You just wash your feet afterwards, but it's going to save you a heck of a lot of feet trouble, because what happens is so much walking around dries out your heels and they crack. I'm sure some of you have experienced that. And the same dryness on your heels is the same dryness on your elbows. Vaseline, highly recommend it. What are the other items I have in here? Well, this reminds me to tell you about over-the-counter drugs or items versus prescription, all right? They don't care if you bring 1 million vitamins with you, and it does not have to be in its original bottle. Although I had one man in my audience once who took, 15 vitamins a day, and he was going on a 3-week trip. Count that up in your head. okay? That's a lot of vitamins. So if you're one of those that do, and I realize some people take a lot of those, I would just get a baggie and a non-erasable marker and just write down vitamin C, vitamin E. Well, you don't have to write the dosage. But I tell you what, you're not going to be stopped in security. I mean, the Europeans invented vitamins. They know what vitamins are. They're just afraid you're going to sell it and they won't get the tax from it, okay? So you can mark that down. But if you take like Benadryl and, Claritin, which is now over the counter and all of that, does not have to be in its original bottle. Well, let's say you're on thyroid or heart medication or something like that, or hormones or whatever. That needs to be in its original bottle. Now, I know some of you have these huge bottles and little pills, right? You need to start asking for the little brown bottles. Have you noticed where the little bottles are now brown for some reason? I think that's to keep the light out so the medication lasts longer. But I believe I have one in here to show you. Start collecting them now. I do. Like this, okay? And put your pills in that. It'll save you some room. Let's say you have a big old bottle and you have collected these brown bottles and you want to switch your pills over. You can unpill the label, because they're all just about standard size now, and put it on the little bottle. I've done that many, many times. It saves you a lot of room. And what they're going to look at is that it has a control. It's a controlled substance. It has a control number on it and a doctor's name. Okay. So let's say you were rushing. You were in Italy. You were rushing out. And Joanna said, I call myself Joanna in Italy, the bus waits for no one. Got to be on time. You forgot your pills on the counter in the bathroom. As much as I absolutely adore Italy, their mail system is not up to snuff, okay? It's very, very slow. The likelihood of you getting those pills somewhere on the trip is very small, okay? Unless it was mailed from the Vatican City. They have the best mail. So you're going to need an original prescription. Get that from your doctor, original prescription. Also, you might want to ask your doctor, can you tell me the generic version of this drug that I'm taking? Because you could get it in Europe, and they would know that, okay? That's the original prescription is going to be buried in your bag somewhere, so you'll have it in case. Or in case you run out, you counted, I'm going to be gone 21 days, and oops, only had 12 days of pills, I spaced. You might need a prescription for that, okay? The pharmacists are wonderful there. Which reminds me of something else I have in here. And I have, yes, I still have it, a pair of earplugs, which we provide with every tour, okay? And we stay in lively parts of the city, means centrally located, which is good for you, because if you're on our tour, there's a great balance between having time off and scheduled time, and you'll be able to go out on your own. But in order to get a good night's sleep, you might be wearing earplugs. Now, how do I wear earplugs and hear the alarm? Well, I can tell you a trick here, and another tour guide told me this, a guy, and it works. So, you take one earplug, you put it in your ear, you lay on your side, that one goes on the pillow. You fall asleep. During the night, you're going to toss and turn, and you're probably going to end up on the other side, but you'll end up on the side that hears the alarm, okay? Now, if you forget your earplugs, you need to go to the pharmacy. You're going to walk in that pharmacy, and for those of you who've never been in a pharmacy in Europe, you're going to look there and you're going to go, all they have is high-priced suntan lotion, and all these cosmetics that are really impossible to buy. I've never even heard of some of them. Well, if you sat there or stood there and watched the people walking in the door, what do the locals do? They go right up to the cash register, because guess what? Everything's behind the counter. And invariably, the earplugs are behind the cash register in a drawer. And they have 3 different types: wax, styrofoam, and another material. So you're good to go. So anything you want at a pharmacy, go up there first and ask them for it. You might have to pantomime stomach or head. Just don't do this. Still means crazy. That's an international sign, okay? They might prescribe something harder for you, But anyway, so that's basically what I have. Just a little bit of items to get me through. Because, for instance, ibuprofen. Ibuprofen, even in Greece, and that language is really difficult, is ibuprofen, okay? So that word is the same. So there you go in one little baggie here. Also, I wanted, speaking of getting up in the morning and alarms, we do have this alarm clock. I know all of you probably have cell phones with an alarm on it. I sometimes need a backup alarm clock, and this does the trick. I sometimes have 3 because I've got to be on and teaching people different things about the tour and leading it. And I think I'm still on Spanish time. I actually came in from Spain. Wow, it's really late in Spain. This has some large numbers. I'm hitting the snooze button, which, by the way, is the most dangerous button on here. And I can see in the middle of I don't know why you have to know what time it is in the middle of the night, but you can see it without your glasses. But I like this alarm clock because it's very compact, and it has the most annoying alarm you'd ever want. So it starts out in this little slow beep, beep, and then it gets faster and faster, beep, 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 beep. You have to just turn that darn thing off. It's done the trick, right? Okay, that's on your checklist today, the alarm clock. Of course, yes, Virginia, there is deodorant in Europe. They have everything we basically have. I believe that is it. Oh, no, one more item that, oh, yes. Okay, so when we're washing items, if you don't want to wash the whole item, do what I do in the privacy, and what you do, I know, in the privacy of your own homes, the sniff and smell test to see what area is dirty, right? Usually under the arms, spot wash it. But let's say you spilt some red wine, got an ink mark, whatever. I bring Shout wipes. It looks like this. You know Shout, the stain remover? Comes in wipes, like shoe wipes. This is mine. So it's been through a few things. I probably need to get a new one. It's held by tape right now. But I just want to show you what they look like. It's just these little wipes. This is not liquid. You can get this through. And I swear it takes everything out. And I know for all of you out there listening that there are things like Tide pens, and I really don't like to say brands that much, but this is the one that works for me. And I have the receptionists at our office keep it for the staff. So we use it all the time. We have some great parties. But anyway, have that in your toiletry kit. You won't regret it. And then I just have something for the feet always, pumice stone, brush, several different uses. That helps me out. What do I wash with? Well, do we have quick wash in the travel center? Yes. But, you know, I'm allergic to a lot of things. Sometimes I'll bring my own shampoo in a little 3-ounce bottle. And then I get the most natural one I can in the store because of my allergies. But I wash my clothes with my shampoo. It smells sweet and it cleans. It does the same thing, you know. And if there's the little soap bars, the tiny ones in the hotel, maybe I'll use that too. So that's what's in this little baggie here. I'm going to move this over just a hair. Just piling things up here, okay? And next I'm going to show you about all the clothes. We're going to go through the little fashion show that are in here. So I basically have a couple of vests and some blouses and everything like that. I want to show you how I folded them. The nest of packing cubes that we have in the office, there's 3 of them. I only needed 2, okay, for me. And 1 loose toiletry items, 1 clothes, and that's all I needed, and it fits really well in my bag, and I'm good to go. So I'm going to open this puppy up, and before I do, I want to tell everybody something that I use, that I keep in mind. It's a little saying, and I say, if you don't wear it more than 3 times, don't bring it. I'm going to repeat that. If you don't wear it more than 3 times, don't bring it. Okay, that weeds out a heck of a lot. If you're going, I think I'll wear this, no, you're never going to wear it. If you are a lady that wears pants every single day of your life, don't bring a skirt. You're not going to wear it, okay? I wore pants today. I'm more of a skirt girl, but I wore pants today so I could show you how to change out my outfit, all right? I think that if you keep that in mind, let's figure that out. 2-week trip, wearing it more than 3 times, how many outfits are you really going to need, okay? And you buy anything else on the way. So today, what I have on, this lovely pashmina, I'm going to try not to knock my mic out of my ear here, but the scarf tying demonstration is another class. Not really, but I end up giving one on every tour. So I just have on a pair of cotton pants and a cotton sweater and a blouse underneath. So I'm going to take this off here. And I won't show you how I tied this right here. I'm going to grab my scarf bag because I'm going to end up showing you some of these scarves and taking some of these things off. So one of the scarves I have today is anyone familiar with the Keukenhof out of Amsterdam? We go there on our Best of Europe. Yes. Beautiful, isn't it? Yeah. And so rolling hills, it has more than tulips. It has lots of blooming, plants and so forth. And so when I was there, I love how scarves are a memory or a story of where you've been. I got this scarf of tulips, and I can change my outfit. We're talking about changing the outfit up just a little bit. So maybe I'll just change this outfit up just a hair and make it like a collar. I can't really see what I'm doing here, but you get the idea that I just pop some color with it, okay? So moving on, if I take this off, I'm sleeveless. And so one of the very first classes I did, when I took this off, from all the women, I heard a gasp in the audience, ah! And I said, I know what you're thinking. And I said, you know what? If you're going to the south of Italy in July and it's 110 degrees, I say just let it flap in the breeze because nobody's going to care, okay? You want to be comfortable. You want to be cool. Go sleeveless. Go wild, We're very conservative in the United States as far as showing skin and things like that. And you don't have to be in Europe. People dress with their windows open, not because they just don't think anything of it. If the curtain happens to be open and they're dressing in the window, that's just how it is, and it's just another body dressing, okay? So you can feel really free there, all right? So if I'm going, let's say we're on a tour and I need to change the outfit up just a little bit. The first item is red always makes me feel really good. That's why I always have a red item. Some of you guys and girls know that this is military rolling. You recognize it. So this little, I call it a wiener roll. Here, I'm going to show you how to do this. This is actually cotton denim, this vest. It's a vest. And so when I undo it like this, you've noticed I've buttoned it up. So button up your vest or blouse first. And you know how in department stores you see it, the arms are folded in and then they're folded like this? You see how that goes? And they're sitting on a table. Well, it's almost that way, but what you're going to do, let me put it upside down and show you how I do it. Okay, see, I'm folding in the arms. I'll turn it around. I'm pulling it and rolling it and pulling it and rolling it all the way up, okay? This has been packed for 24 hours and some of the things have been packed for 48 hours. So if you want to see the wrinkability of it, which I don't know if that's a word or not, it's decent, isn't it? So what am I going to use this for? Well, I could use it for what it was intended, or I can use it like a jacket. Pretend I have on 3/4 length sleeves, long sleeves, sleeveless, whatever the weather is. So this is just my base color. Pick a base color. That could be black, that could be khaki, that could be green, that could be navy. But the object is you want to be able to wear everything in your bag and not look like a clown if you're cold, So that's a good goal, unless you just want to look like a clown, okay? So I can wear this as a jacket, ladies. And it works perfectly well. Or if I did not have this black blouse on, I could button it up. I won't do that right now. And I could use this as a blouse. So you're just changing your outfit up just a hair, okay? Just like this and belt it. You get the idea. So let's say we're going to Switzerland and we're going to start in the valley. And I know I need warmer clothes. And we're going to end up going up a gondola. We're going to go up to the Schilthorn or the Jungfrau, one of the mountainous areas in the Alps. And I'm going to need to wear layers. I advocate wearing layers, layer, layer, layer. Don't bring one heavy coat because things are overheated. If you take that off, then you're cold. You don't have any options where if you wore layers, you can peel all the way down to where you're comfortable, okay? So if we do this on our Europe tour, we have a Germany, Austria, Switzerland tour. In Switzerland, we go into the valley. I'm going to wear this. This is rayon. Rayon is wonderful, by the way. You start wearing this, in an hour, the wrinkles are out. You spot wash it in the sink if you get something on it. You really don't have to dry clean it. You wouldn't want to put it in a washer, the whole item, but if you're bringing it on a tour, you're going to spot wash it in the sink. Okay, that goes for men too, for your rayon shirts. A lot of rayon shirts are out for men now. So I'm going to, hiking in the valley, before I get to the gondola, the type that goes up the mountain and not in the water, I'm going to, again, change up my outfit just a hair and wear this like a jacket. Now, I get in the gondola. It's really cold, and the further you go up, it's just like, going up to Mount Rainier or something. The weather, the atmosphere gets thinner and it gets colder. And so I'd button this up. And then I'm going to grab, I do remember I got this vest from Ex Officio, and we actually have an outlet here in Seattle. And for those of you not in Seattle, online, you can find there online. And it's got lots of pockets, but all I'd put in there is a lift ticket. I don't put anything valuable in there because I'm already wearing my money belt. So I'm going to layer this up and use this now as a blouse because we're going up in cold weather. So let me just do the cut. I have really short arms. So I'm going to just put this over. Vests are really wonderful, especially either button or zip. I'm just going to put this over here and layer it up. So in a sense, I've made another outfit, right? And do this. Okay, I won't button it all the way. You get the sense that I'm layering up. Now, when we went up to the Jungfrau, there's a restaurant up there. And we took the group, this is on our Europe tour, and we also do this on Germany, Austria, Switzerland, which we call GAS, our GAS tour. We all go and get a Heidi Cocoa. Do you know what that is? Oh, it's wonderful. I'm not a huge drinker, but it is cocoa with schnapps. Talk about warm the cockles of your heart. So it's a drink that they drink up there. And then we went outside on a ledge, and we had to wait for the sun to go in and out in the clouds. You know how it is up in high altitude. Took our pictures. So in order to go out, I needed another jacket. I remember I got this jacket at Eddie Bauer, but I have an unlined jacket here, folks, because I'm layering up. And in the collar is a hood in case it rains. We do have a travel umbrella that I absolutely love that I bring with me if I need that, because sometimes the rain is sideways and the hood doesn't, help in that matter. And the umbrella might give me extra protection. So we went out to take a picture. We're in Switzerland. I layered this all the way up. I have several layers on right now. I have gloves in the compartment, a zipper compartment in here, and I am perfectly warm in that type of condition, okay? So layer, layer, layer. Now, when we finished with Switzerland, this trip was going down south, okay? So I had to unlayer. Easy to do, peel it off. Pile up all this stuff. I'm going to retain this black vest, and I think it's time, if I can find it, yes, I'm going to wear a scarf again. So I'm unpeeling this. I'm going to make another outfit here. So I'm going to kind of go all black, but with a vest. Ladies, I hope you're getting some ideas of what you have at home to put together. By the way, ladies, be sure when you pack the things that fit you now. Don't say I'm going to lose 10 pounds before the trip. Pack what fits you now, and if you do lose weight, just belt it, all right? Okay. Big tip there. I know, I'm guilty of it too. And so I'm making another outfit because we're going south and it's going to be warmer, and I may have sleeves here or not. So I would button that up, and you know what? This is a true story. We're out there having our Heidi Cocoa, and we had some time with the tour, and I wandered around. Lo and behold, I found a gift shop. We do not take you shopping on a Rick Steves tour, and we never will. We just don't do that. Is it in your face all the time, everywhere you go? It is. It's your own choice to do that. But because I like scarves and they tell a story, I'm very sentimental. I found this scarf in the gift shop in Switzerland, and it's Edelweiss. I think it's beautiful. It's a silk scarf. I've had it for years. It reminds me of some of those first tours that I did. So I'm just going to pop this with the color. So then again, I really can't tell how I'm doing this. You get the idea how I'm just going to pop it with color. So I made a slightly new outfit. I could if I wanted to. And if it's cold, I'm going to have on long sleeves. All right. So after that, we went to France because it's a 21-day tour. That's our signature tour. We have a shorter Europe tour that's 14 days. And so we go to several different countries. It's just enough time in each country. It's perfect. So if I change again, and going to France, I'm feeling a little mellow. So I'm going to wear my light blue cardigan. This is a zipper cardigan. I'm going to make another outfit out of it. And this one's a little boxy, so I may have a belt with me, and I might belt it. Some ladies like to belt with scarves. That's not my thing. I do know you can use the belt with the scarf. Go for it if you like it. I like a more defined waist, but that's me. That's my personal choice. So I'm making another outfit here. Let's zip it up. If I did not have the black blouse on, so funny, I had some audience members one time. They were pretty rowdy. They were like screaming, "Take it off," you know, but that will not happen in this class today. But so you see how I can have a two-piece outfit. I could belt it if I wanted to with a wide belt. That can make a different outfit. But I'm going to pull out my Ooh La La scarf and just tie it the traditional way, just to show you how you could have a scarf and change it up. You get the idea that I'm going to just tie it like this and just have a pop of an accessory. I also buy costume jewelry there. I might buy a gold chain and a silver chain, or I might bring something with me, not real gold, not real silver, and just buy it really long, ladies, and then loop it up into 3 pieces, you know, or do it long or knot it, and that changes up your outfit too. And so here we are in France, and I'm feeling mellow, and I'm feeling very Parisian. But the other things I haven't showed you in here, I've got 2 sleeveless mock turtlenecks and a pair of khaki pants, and I haven't even shown you that. And see that pile of clothes? That all fit in that cubicle. Is that not amazing? So there you go, 10 outfits, just about 10 if you're counting. Usually the men count. Number 11, yeah. But I do want to show you this hat over there since I pulled it out of my magic box, that what I do, because I know I'm a little bit of a Scarlett O'Hara type, the real girly part, not the high maintenance part. And so I like to kind of make my hat really feminine. But before I show you that, I will tell you crushable hats are everywhere, all right? Men, they've got them for you too, all right? Now, if you want to blend in, you will not wear a baseball hat in Europe. If you don't want to blend in, that's entirely your business, and you can wear it. Doesn't matter. You need a hat to keep the sun off because, you know, we don't have an ozone layer anymore, basically. And so those rays are really harmful. So I want to teach you how to properly wear a hat. Take the hair away from your face, if you have hair. Then you put the hat on. It goes down to your eyebrows here, okay? And it's nice if you had something like this to cinch it up so it won't fall off in the Grand Canal. But what you can do is you can get shoelaces that are these brown shoelaces that men have for their shoes, and you can wind it through your hat if you need something like that. So ladies, I've seen a lot of ladies wear the hat on the back of their head. You look like Pollyanna, and it doesn't help keep the sun out, okay? But what I do that's really kind of girly and Scarlett O'Hara-like, I'm going to take one of my scarves, I'm going to pop some color with it and put it on my hat, okay? I know, it's just really feminine, and I needed some colors, so there you go, all right? So there you go. Now, when I take this hat off, you're thinking hat hair. I don't wear a hat because I get hat hair. Baby powder, rub it through, brush it. Good to go. What am I going to do with this scarf after I take it off my hat? I'm going to wear it and make another little outfit here, okay? There we go. So Voila. Think you can do it. Y'all think you can do it? You ladies? I think you can. So go in your closets today. I do want to show you what's in this iPad bag, which I absolutely adore. I had on tour for the first time, the whole time. This is not even expanded. I haven't expanded it yet, and it's expandable. Of course, you know it's carry-on size. And so this is what I use. We do have a Chivita Day bag. If you like the backpack type, that's great too. But I bring my iPad with me because I have to do accounting and I have to stay in touch with the office and my husband. I Skype my husband and so forth and so on. So this is what I bring. Let me open it up and show you what's in there. So this baby has a big hatch here. And when I open it up, the first thing I see is something I never want you to put in your bag. And that's your money belt, okay? Yeah, don't do that. I'm going to tell you 2 ways to wear the money belt. One is really for the men and one is for the women, and I'll tell you why. Men, let's go with you first, okay? So this type of money belt goes around your waist and then clips. And it has a really long tail. I cut mine off because this was way too long for me. And then once you get it clipped together, goes like this, you put it inside your pants, okay? Now, ladies, and men, this is really a good tip for you too. I don't know if you know this. Women don't like anything on their stomachs, basically. We have enough throughout life to have stuff on our stomachs, right? Okay. Don't want to add to that area. And so, gals, you can put your money belt in the back. You're built with this arch right here. Put it backwards. You'll never feel it. It'll be comfortable. And make it just a tiny bit loose. And if you need to get to it, move it around or let your partner get to it in the back. So what are you going to put in this? Your original passport, original credit cards, the bulk of your money. This is your bank vault, okay? So that's what you use it for. And, oh, ladies, don't worry about when you turn it around, you're at the ticket booth or wanting to buy something, and you pull it out and you're showing some skin. They've seen enough skin to last them a lifetime. They don't care. Okay, so I know that is a concern. Don't worry about it. You're fine. So that's how you wear your money belt. I have this really great story that I got to tell you about this money belt. I was doing an Italy tour, and I'm standing in the front of the bus with a microphone, and the bus has this big window, and I'm saying, okay, we have 30-minute stop, and, the coffee place is over there. It was our first stop. I was giving directions. I look out, everyone's filing out. I look out the window, and I knew there was a couple that had just retired, and he had already told me. I read everything there is to read about Rick, the books, his tour, which is great because most people just read it on the plane. And he knew everything. Well, he was walking out, and I looked through the window. His money belt was on the outside of his pants, big as you please, smiling, having the best time. So I walked down there, and I tapped him on the shoulder, and I said, "Look like you're having a good time." And he was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Look, Joanna, I have my money belt on." I said, "I can see that." I said, "But you need to put it inside your pants because nobody's going there." And he was like, he got it. Okay. So that's what you need to remember. Also, I'll let you know, for those of you that don't want a waist money belt, we have the things around the neck. My preference is this because I don't like anything hanging on my neck, and it's a rather large pouch. If you do like that type and you get it, please don't wear it on the outside of your blouse or shirt. Have you seen people in the airport do that? They have their passport sticking out of it. It's like, "Hi, come get me," And so it is not secure unless it's inside the clothing, so remember that. The other thing I'm really excited about is our picnic wear, because I love to picnic. The Borghese Gallery in Rome is surrounded by a big park. You can go picnic out there and wait for your reservation. And we have picnic wear. This will get you through customs and passport and TSA and everything else because it's got 2 sets of forks, knives, TSA approved, spoons, and a corkscrew, which is very important, okay? And a friend of mine said, "Hey, when you empty this thing and it's its own container, you can put vodka in it." I don't know. I wouldn't try that, So what's really great is those of you that like to picnic and do those kind of things, is that when the utensils are dirty, you just throw it back in here and throw it in your bag or your backpack, It doesn't get any food all over anything, okay? So I like having that. And then this just came out, hot off the press, 2013 Italy. And it is sweet. So I always have my guidebook with me. Do I have my guidebook on my iPhone or any other device? Yes. But what happens if I run out of juice, if things get caught up in the hatch sometimes. I always have a copy with me. And then when I'm on a picnic, I like to have a book of pleasure, and mine is Rick's autobiography, postcards. But I will tell you about this book. I have read it. I know all these people in here because I've worked with them for so long, and it's all these great people in the hotels and the restaurants, and quotes that Rick sometimes says. They're all in here, and it's a great book, so I highly recommend it. I also recommend always having a map. We've got several maps in our travel center, so you might need a map with you. And our maps are probably more correct than some of the one that's on your technology at some point in time. That's only the main hatch in here. So I'm going to open this puppy up, and I'm going to show you that there are other compartments here for glasses and everything else right in here, okay? And there's a little hidden compartment in here, and I've got a net. Can you believe I got this in here? It's a neck nest. So this is really great for traveling. You know how when you fall asleep, your neck kind of goes clunk, clunk, or forward, however you sleep, and then you have a neck ache by the time you have that 9-hour flight. You blow it up. This is not blown up. And depending on how you sleep, you can either put it behind your head, or guess what? If you nod forward, put it in front. It inflates up to here, nod, nod. So you can use it on the plane, train, ferry, wherever you might be relaxing. Some people sleep with this to keep their neck upright. I don't know, I've never tried it, but you can do that. And then I've got this really old-fashioned camera in here. It just reminds me to tell you to bring your digital camera. I think most people have a digital camera, but it also reminds me to say your memory sticks, or if you have the other type and you need film. Let's see, yeah, I have an old thing of film here. Buy it in the United States, or Canada, if you're from Canada, because it's really, they have it there. They have the memory sticks and everything. It's really expensive. It's like 3 times more expensive because you're going to be in a touristy area. They also have cyber cafes where you can download your pictures. Also, if you're bringing like your iPad and a phone, bring the cable that connects and download your pictures and send them off. So you need to kind of think about that. We're in a new world with technology. Think how it can work for you and not against you. Okay. So one more hatch here, and then let's see. I'm closing in on some time here. That one of the things I like that's on your checklist is it's called a thumb beam illuminator. All right. So we perfected this. It used to be where you would squeeze it and it would come on. We now have a switch. And this baby is really powerful. Yeah, there. It's really powerful, and you can see down a dark hall. A good example is France. Okay. A lot of the smaller French hotels that we use close up their front desk at 9 o'clock at night. They're going to give you a big skeleton key about this big to bring out the door with you, and it might have a tassel on it, okay? It's probably the largest thing you're going to have in your day bag. And I use this for seeing the big wooden door and the lock. You have to fit the skeleton key in. You can turn that on and see it. Or let's say the bathroom light is down the hall. The bathroom is down the hall and the light is off because it's on motion detector. Because electricity is very expensive in Europe, and they do not waste electricity. You're walking down the hall, that thing never goes on until you get to the door. You stumble all the way down. That's what it's good for. Also, I like it for reading at night. If your partner is asleep and you're awake for reading at night, lots of uses. Love this. And the last item I'm going to show you is this item. We do not sell this, and I'm going to tell you what it's good for. And it happens to be a mirror, a double-sided mirror, and it's great for powdering your nose and so forth. But let me give you a good example, and I did this with my last 2 tours. let's say you're in the Sistine Chapel. So if you've never been there before, you go to the Vatican Museum, they wind you all the way around. There's only one way to go till the very end is the Sistine Chapel. You walk in on the altar. It's really cool. And down there in the audience, like where you are, everyone's looking up, mouth open. You know, after a while, your neck is killing you. And besides, things aren't just on the ceiling, they're on the sides of the wall. Take a mirror, look at it in a smaller venue. Hey, there's Jonah in the well. There's Elias the prophet. There's a spark of life. There's in a smaller venue. Going into a cathedral, the ceiling's a gazillion miles long. Beautiful mosaics on the side. Hey, look at the mosaics in a smaller venue. Cool. You know, so this mirror will really save your life, I think. And then you can use it to check out that cute Italian guy behind you. You know. Look but don't touch, yeah. So that's it for that. Now, I think I've showed you everything there is to show you to have a great trip, pack light, but there's one thing I want to tell you before you leave, because us Southerners like quotes, and it's a Spanish proverb, and I want you to take this home with you. And it says, on a long journey, even a straw weighs heavy. Okay? Thank you for coming.